If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/VillageXchange. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed. It's also linked up.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are on the way.
Director Nick is in our stream
Nick.
tonight. The Police is the name of the band. Every Breath You Take is the name of the song.
Later, Sean.
And let's see what our director has to say. He says, another song that became popular at weddings due to most people viewing it as a love song, even though it's actually quite the opposite. Written by frontman.
Isn't that your thingy for the year? Walk by faith, not by sight.
Yeah. Yep.
Shout out to David Matheson.
Shout
That's
out.
Sori's slogan of the year there, buddy.
It is. It is. Oh shoot! You know what? That's so crazy.
Viva la Mexico!
That's so crazy that you brought it up because that was my theme of the year, and I got a little sidetracked from it. So I'm glad you brought it up. Because it's still been like a theme, but not like I like a banner. Okay. Written by frontman and bassist Sting while on a retreat in Oracabessa, Jamaica. Baby, tell us how do you pronounce this?
Oracabessa. That's
Jamaica.
Hispanic.
At the Golden Eye estate of James Bond author Ian Fleming, this song carries a much darker and sinister meaning. The lyrics are written from the perspective of an obsessed stalker. Oh no, I hate stalker songs. And in general is about control and surveillance. Sting even said he was thinking about Big Brother at the time he wrote it. The song was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards, winning Song of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group. The song spent 4 weeks at #1 on the Billboard charts and was both the best-selling single of 1983 and 5th best-time single of the decade.
Wow.
All right, let's check it out.
Donald Trump says, I support the police. BLM and Antifa hate our beautiful law enforcement. I love all police. Except for Lion. Come on. CJ has been awesome, by the way. CJI has been awesome, by the way. Who is CJI? All right, here we go. Let's check it out. The police, every breath you take. Let's go.
I love this song! I love this song!
This is a song with Puffy. It's right here. Tell me why. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I like to track you, lock the phone. So often,
every breath you take, and every move you
oh, he stole it. Puffy stole it.
every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day, and every word you say, every game you play,
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
The song?
Yeah, I heard the Puffy version. This song came out after Big died.
Okay.
And it's called "I'll Be Missing You." It's the it's the chorus. Instead of saying "I'll be watching you," it's "I'll be missing you."
Mm-hmm.
Every step I take, every move, I'll be missing you. And it was a tribute to B.I.G. It was actually one of the best tribute songs of all time. I'm not gonna lie to you. Puffy didn't write that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Beanie Siegel wrote that for Puff. I'm not sure. But yeah, man, Big had just died like a year before. And New York we were all still in our feelings. And then Wu-Tang came out with 36 Chambers. Big's Life After Death came out. And then like, this was kind of like the song though. It was tough. It's actually one of the first songs I can ever remember where I cried listening to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just so, what a life to take, what a bond to break, I'll be missing you. Like, when Pac died, it wasn't like that. Like, people were hurt, they were angry and shit, but like, there was no like goodbye Tupac song from Death Row. But they had a goodbye, the Lox did one, Little Kim did, I think Little Kim did one, and then this was the main song on the single that you could buy, and it was huge. It exploded.
Man, I want to hear it.
Seems like yesterday we used to lock the show. I used to track you, lock the flow. So far from hanging on the blocks for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seems to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometimes. The night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give everything to hear half your breath. I know you still living your life after death, and then, whatever. So that song was crazy because it was like, damn, like we were really like, I was in Brooklyn at the time that song came out, obviously, and Brooklyn is where Big is from, Bed-Stuy, whatever. But yeah, that was a really impactful song, man, because it was really, for me, the first time like you were allowed to be emotionally vulnerable in that environment. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
things would happen to your friends or whatever, and you couldn't cry about it because you're just supposed to say, all right, cool. We're going to get back or whatever. It's a really toxic form of what masculinity is. Some of it has to do with just natural selection. But like, yeah, it was the first real time for me where it was like, it was okay to be emotional about something. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's crazy.
And then Puff at the time was not viewed as like a gangster rapper. He was viewed as, a nerd basically who was around real gangsters. So it was interesting to see how that song resonated so much because we never really liked Puff like that. You know what I'm saying? It was always Mace or Big or whatever. But yeah, man, like, this song is crazy to me because it's a stalker song. And I think somebody said that Prince wrote this about somebody that was going after him. Mm-hmm. So it's like, looking at this song, I could definitely see him being the person getting stalked for sure.
Yeah.
He's a big rock star.
Yeah.
He's extremely attractive. He's artsy. Like, I definitely see people going after him. And it's funny, too, because in the song, it's like, every bond you break, I'll be watching you. It's like, every vow you break, like, she never made a vow to you, bro.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing I see about, like, stalkers is, like, they have, parasocial relationships, where basically now, because you have access to the inner workings of the life of your favorite celebrity, because they're all on Twitter, you know what they eat, you know what they like, you know what they don't like, you know how they feel politically. These people really believe that they're in some sort of relationship with these people. It's called a parasocial relationship. And they really think that they're in a relationship with these celebrities. And, it gets crazy.
Yeah. We were watching something where the person was like so convinced. I don't remember what it was. They were so convinced that what the I don't think it was a YouTuber, but it was like a, I don't know, somebody that was famous, and basically like when they were watching the famous person, anything that the famous person said, they thought they were saying it to them. Like they would say, you know, do you remember that? Do you remember when they were talking about that? Like the person, I don't remember exactly the context. I just remember like the stalker person was convinced, they couldn't say anything. And even when the person was like, it has nothing to do with them, like they were like, see, they're talking to me. Like, remember that? Just weird stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you had stalkers in this era, but it's got to be worse now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know the kind of avocado your favorite, you know, musician likes to eat and all the rest of it. That shit is, you know, that's that's pretty crazy.
I heard this song when I was a teenager. Because remember, you guys, there was no music in our household to speak of. When I became a teenager and I could have my own license, then I was able to listen to music on the side. My parents one year actually bought us, I forgot about this, but they bought us like a boombox that we could listen to Christian music. That once we passed 12 years of age, then we could listen to the Christian station. And like sometimes like I would like push the dial and check out some other music. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the songs that I heard in my room, like turned down really low. And I love the song. For me though, like I totally can see the song as like, that's creepy stalkerish now. But at the time when it was saying every move you make, every breath you take, I pictured two people dancing. And so I pictured he was watching like all her dance moves actually. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. And then every single day, every word. So to me, it was like, and every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. To me, it was like this relationship between these two people, and it was mutual. And, but he, like, you know, that there's that verse that talks about, there's like 7 things that are like, just like wonders or something like that. And one of them is the way a man is with a maiden. And so like that concept of how like, you know, you see it depicted in movies or shows. And so growing up when I would see different stuff like that, I was like, oh my gosh. Also seeing my parents and the way that my father was about my mother, because I mean, my father was always like talking her up. She'd go into the grocery store, like almost every time she'd come out of the grocery store, he'd be sitting there just like listening to the radio or whatever, and some boring talk thing. And then my mom would be on the way out and he'd be like, he's sitting like this, and he'd be like, look at your mother. She's so beautiful. Just look at her. I'm the luckiest guy here. Look at her. And like, I thought, oh my gosh, like, I thought every relationship must be like that as long as you're in a Christian relationship. Turns out they're not all like that. I got lucky, and I am in a relationship like that, but I know that they're not always like that.
Where people recognize the beauty of their wife?
Yeah, you know how people just kind of get bored with people and they don't recognize. I mean, honey, you look at my... You know what I'm saying? Like you've seen it happen to people where people don't appreciate what they have. I mean, you were in a situation like that too.
Yeah, the song fills me with a lot of mixed emotions because for whatever reason, people get like that with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they get real. We're in a situation, like I didn't know how to handle it. Like the
Which one?
The cult situation.
Oh my gosh.
Like, see, people talk about that a lot, about like the cult leader and all that. Like, people don't realize that there are some cults where the cult leader is like, what the hell is going on here? Because people want that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was definitely weird seeing the other side of that, because you just assume that a cult leader wants to be a cult leader, but you don't realize that maybe they just kind of got shifted into that position because people started treating them like...
And they won't leave you alone.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in some sort of spiritual context.
It was weird because I was like on the outside and you and I were just friends. So I was like on the outside watching the thing, and I would see it, like a new person would come around and then you'd hang out with them, attention, whatever. And I was like, here, it's starting. And then
I'd hang out with them.
And then when it was time for Vinny to like bring the next person to the group, that person just would get like wild. Like, it was weird, man.
We baptized a girl one time. Well, Sori baptized a girl one time. Like, and everybody in the community was jealous of this girl. And like this girl has been through assaults, all type of shit. But they got really jealous of her because we were giving her a lot of help because she came out of hell.
Well, it wasn't just that. I mean, she was a cool person.
Yeah.
And like,
It
was like, I mean, she wasn't a Christian. She was never even raised in any sort of Christian environment, had never read the Bible, but she was a journaler, like a diary person.
Who?
The person we're talking about. So she'd write, and like she had all kinds of these writings. And so after she became a Christian, she got baptized. She would, I don't even know why she was letting us read her stuff. I think we were all like really kind of artsy and listened to each other's stuff. And so it was cool to hear.
Well, she was really excited. Like, look at this.
And then she would like, well, some of it she didn't even know. She would read it to us, and then you'd be like, oh my gosh. Or I'd be like, oh my gosh. And she was like writing stuff that was in the Bible, but she'd never read the Bible. It was crazy.
Yeah, so she was
cool. You know what I'm saying?
She was getting it from me and Sori. And you were like, for the women, you were like the standard. So like it was like this girl got, somebody said like she got drafted into the All-Star team before, and the rest of us are out here slaving away, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, like I gotta get out of this place. That was actually one of the big things where I was like, I gotta get out of here.
I bet.
I gotta leave this place. Like,
I bet. I've never seen anything like it. Like, I had a couple stalker situations in my life, but what's happened with you is like outstrips mine by like 1,000,000 trillion. It's crazy.
But that's why it's so good to have like actual friends on the channel. Like I got Tina, I got Priest, I got Mikey. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to have like real actual friends instead of like, and I like the fact that like, online communications, like everybody understands, like you'll be talking to Vin and then it'll just stop. Mm-hmm. Or I'll be talking to you and it'll just stop because you got other shit to do. Like I love that aspect of it. But yeah, like the stalker shit is crazy.
Yeah.
It was an annoyance to me. It wasn't I never thought that my life was in danger or anything like that. But, I'm looking at our girls and I'm like, they're so dynamic. They're so unique. One of them has like a personality on like 50. The other one, like, ridiculous. Like, it's very hard as a parent. That's why, like, there was this big movement, the courtship movement back in the day. And courtship was a way of engaging a woman to see if you guys were compatible for marriage and all the rest of it. So, like, it had a definitive end goal.
Yeah.
Whereas dating is kind of like, let's try it out type of situation.
Yeah, and I mean, courtship was also like, you're not trying to get away and get alone together and like sneaky shit happening. Like it's regulated. You usually have a sibling or somebody, like you're usually in groups. It's sort of this, it's meant to keep you from, like making, making mistakes, I guess you could say, so it was weird talking to my friends about stuff like that because they couldn't even process like, why would anybody do such a thing? Mm-hmm. But
Jet says, I was never baptized. Is there anybody more silly than Jet?
She would have fit right in.
That right? She was definitely a silly.
I mean, there's a lot of people here.
And then
would fit.
We would dunk her, and then everybody would be jealous of Jet now. I do. One thing I'll say about that song is that if you could get 1% of humanity to believe that God looks at them this way, the entire planet would be completely different. If it was interesting too, because I forgot what psalm it was, but David says, "Many are your thoughts about me, O Lord, I can't even count them." And Jesus talks about even the hairs on your head are numbered.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, oh, that's God's omniscience. It's like, yeah, I don't think that Jesus was saying that to talk about God's omniscience. These are Second Temple Jews. They know that God is omniscient. What they did not know was the degree to which God obsessed over them. Mm-hmm. And so if you could get somebody to genuinely believe that God has an obsession with them, then a lot of things would change. All our insecurities would disappear. Rick Warren, he said, I don't know, man. God's crazy about me. So what's your problem?
Well, I mean, if you look back,
I wouldn't say it that way, but
if you think about Pharaoh and, you know, how he represented the sun god Ra and how he comported himself because he was like, I represent the sun god.
right.
Like, so if we could get like even a basic understanding of that, because he was representing a false god, it wasn't he?
See?
You know what I mean?
Jet says, I would be baptized, to be honest. See?
Yep.
I told you.
Yep.
2 weeks in the celly, she'd be out there.
I was like thinking about how crazy it is that if you look at like the world as like everybody that you know and that you interact with and that you care about, like those are like the players of the game, and that everybody else that you just walk past is like an NPC. And the idea of that, like how many of us treat each other like NPCs, is like, it's sad. It makes me like really sad. And I think that, like when I was in Bible college, I was telling one of the kids this story. When I was in Bible college, I had like a pimple where it's like right here. And my roommate was like, I've got some cream you can put on it. I was like, I'm kind of sensitive and allergic to a lot of things. I don't know if I should do that.
Say, what were you on?
She's like, no, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So I put it on and I'm like, it's kind of like itching and burning. And she was like, nah, bro, that means it's working. I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So I'm hardcore. I'm going to go to bed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to strip this off my face. It was like, whatever. When I woke up in the morning, it looked like I was in a fight. My eye was swollen shut, and this one was partially shut. Well, anyway, at the college that I was going to, aka Colts, you couldn't have any vehicles. There was one bus, and the bus would take you out once a month to go shopping, and that's the only time you could go shopping. And the shopping day was then. So I had to go shopping like that, in that condition. And literally, it got so bad. Like, plug your ears in, my face was like pus was coming out of my face. It was horrible. Anyway, so I go on this shopping trip. I'm looking all crazy. And I could not get any assistance in any of the stores. Like, it was like I was invisible. It was so frustrating. And like, I was telling one of my friends that. I'm like, this is so frustrating. And then she was like, well, welcome to the world the rest of us live in. And I'm like,
you're pretty privileged.
I never considered, like other people. I can't believe that people get treated like that. And then I'm like, that we were all like young people at the time. Like, as you age and as things change, like, and just being, I don't know, just being like invisible. Like, there are some people that like, that's where the term wallflower came from. Like, there are some people that people don't notice. And so I was like,
do you think those people, don't you think there are like people out there that wish they could be stalked?
Oh, yeah, I know people that have said it.
That have said it?
Yeah.
Said what?
Well,
I wish I was stalked?
They've said crazy.
That's incredible.
And yeah, I mean, yeah.
This song has got to at least be at
anyway,
9.8, right?
Long story short, I was like thinking about it. It wasn't even like a prayer. It was just something that I was thinking about. I was like, wow, people are like NPCs, and then like there's a verse in the Bible that talks about us being the apple of God's eye. Like, you're like the center of what he's looking at. And I'm like, you can be like, and I felt like that God was saying that. He's like, what the world looks at as an NPC is an apple of my eye, and he does not take his eye off of us. And I'm like, if you don't realize how special you are to the God of the universe, then you can start feeling like you're as insignificant as the people around you treat you as. And
I married my stalker. Same.
I'm trying to stalk him less.
I mean, I don't know how. We're around each other 24 hours a day.
You leave the room, I'm like, hey.
Except for, where you go? I tried. I'm not going to talk about that. Too much information. All right, 9.8.
9.8. Mm-hmm. This one's a 10 for me. I love this song. I do think, like, when you look at it from the stalking angle, like, I joked around about the beginning. I used to like really like the stalker vibe, as in like, I want you to be stalkers to me and I'll be stalkers to you. But I've actually like matured more past it. I'm like, it's still, like cool, whatever. But at the same, it's like, I don't know if you can like, I kind of feel like stalker and love don't necessarily work hand in hand. So,
you don't say.
So I'm like, it's cool, but like, I think that there's another route that's actually
well, I think just like everything else, that there is a godly way to do something and an ungodly way to do
Sure.
So obviously God is he's jealous. He's a stalker over his people, like all that. But we know that he's purely good, so it's coming from a pure, other-oriented situation. But when we do it, it is not that purity. It is possession and ego and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
All right, 9.8. What did you get?
I gave it a 10. This is a 10 all the way.
Jet.
Very good song.
Jet. I know if you were around Jet, for sure, Soraya would do the honors and dunk you for sure. You'd fit in right into our nice little community.
There was times where did we baptize together?
You would take the girl. I mean, when we did Shannon, we were kind of like together, but like it wasn't like a Mormon thing where you had two people baptizing somebody.
All right, you guys, we'll be back. We got more songs. Like Nick planned out an entire night for us. We're gonna be hanging out for a while. We're having fun. We're gonna keep it up.
It's a Friday. It's Vin and Sori, baby. You know what it is.
We'll be
Fridays
right back.
belong to Nick. We will see you beautiful people on the other side of the break. Vin out.
Sori out.
Go.